Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more 9-Rip continuing Toka's route. That sounded so like, hey guys, it's just because I was fighting with this stupid thing to connect for 20 goddamn minutes, and it's just really annoying. I really just don't care right now. So, like, what the hell? Ugh, it's not helping me with my mojo. Welcome to every other day recording again. But this is why, because, like, I have to fight with this stupid thing. I'm just tired. And you know what? I just don't care anymore. Like, that's not true. I enjoy playing these games. But, like, I swear, this week has been... I've recorded 2 things this entire week. I just can't. Oh, fighting with this. Seriously? Why does... And now my guy doesn't want to work. Guys, can I just... You ever have one of those days where you just want to curl up in a ball and cry in a corner and just whine a lot? That's how I feel right now. Anyway, I don't remember where we were when I recorded the other part yesterday. So, something. We're in Toka's route now, though, so. Anyway. Oh, he gave us 700 pounds of shit to read, and we stayed up all night long reading it. I think that's where we were. Anyway. Phew! After getting back to my room and changing into more comfy clothes, I found myself sitting on my bed. Feels odd to sleep in the middle of the day, but I really need to get some sleep. Still, Yukimaro's offer has got me curious. He mentioned exploring things that piqued my interest. I wonder where he plans to take me. Using my aura to read what I'm interested in seems pretty smart. Previously, I was set on finding things myself, but I was set on finding things myself, not wanting to rely on anyone's help. But now I feel like I can rely on them. Speaking of which, I really should do something to thank them. Then I heard a knock echo in my room. Come in! The door opened, and to my surprise, Toka and Koharu entered together. That's the only part that's surprising. I knew it was going to at least be Toka, but... I knew you wouldn't be asleep yet. It's been 2 minutes. Who falls asleep well, okay, sometimes. As he walked in, he handed me a mug. As I took it, I smelled the familiar, pleasant aroma. Chamomile? My mom always makes this for me. How did you know, Koharu? He told me. Sorry, I took some without asking, and had Koharu make you some. I thought it might help you relax. Toka. He was always looking out for me, always noticing the small things. For now, you should get some rest. It's hard to think clearly when you're tired. He wore a gentle grin on his face, and I found myself smiling back. Thank you both so much. I'll make another list for you. Sure, thank you. Please don't make it hundreds of things that makes me stay up all night. Then Koharu approached my desk, beginning to look over the list Toka had made for me yesterday. Must have been tough putting all this together. For Spacey, no task is too great. Toka spoke proudly, chest puffed out, but Koharu seemed rather glum. This looks like quite the task to sift through. Why not simplify your approach? Both Toka and I tilted our heads, puzzled by Koharu's suggestions. See, we're both like, ah! We're both being a little stupid now. Good, look at that. We're making a good pair. I mean, you know, right, Toka? The things she's loved since she was a kid? Instead of trying to find something to interest her, why not start with something that already interests her and work from there? Working backwards, Yeah. Thanks, Koharu. I do believe I've got it now. Can I borrow some of your time later? Huh? You want my time? Not hers? As Toka nodded earnestly several times, Koharu just shrugged and left the room. Toka stayed behind and smiled. Toka, what are you planning to do? That's a surprise for when you wake up. Now go on, drink your tea and get some rest. I wonder what it could be. Just what is he planning? I was incredibly curious. You look intrigued. Well, how about I share my story from the past while you finish your tea? I share a story from the past. Sorry, while you finish your tea. A story from the past? You mean from when I was little? Mom used to tell me stories like that all the time. Like the time your parents let Charlie Chaplin kidnap you? You know, that kind of shit? No? Not that? Not a tale from your past. Perhaps one from my... You haven't heard that story? I've told that story before. Someone knows here. It was Universal Studios. I was 2. Everybody doesn't think I remember this, but I fucking do. Okay? We went, and I was terrified of Frankenstein. I don't remember that. And I was terrified of Charlie Chaplin, the guy that was like the Charlie Chaplin impersonator person. And my family thought it was funny. And apparently Charlie Chaplin was a sadistic bastard because he also thought it was funny that I was scared of him. So this part, I can hear my dad laughing, which is the part about the story that's fun because, like, most of you know, my dad passed away 7 years ago. So, like, this year will be 8. Jesus. Like, so being able to see him visibly turning red and hear him laughing in my head over this story is something that I'm glad I had to go through trauma so that man could have something funny to laugh at. Okay? But you know, anytime my mom had said this I don't remember, but like anytime we were anywhere in the park and the Charlie Chaplin guy was there and he saw us, he'd make a beeline for me because like to torment me apparently. Like, this man, I swear to fucking God, he's probably like super old or dead by now, but like, I just hope that there is someone out there that heard the story from their grandpa or something about this child he used to torment. He tormented one time, or how he used to like to torment children who were afraid of him. Okay? Because I was one of those kids, in case your grandpa was a Charlie Chaplin impersonator at Universal Studios in Hollywood and tormented children. I was one of those kids. Just, you know what I mean? One of these days, that's going to come up. And so I'm going to be like, small world. That was, you know, anyway. So I don't remember any of that, but I do remember we were standing there. We were standing on like at the side of the street. Like maybe there was a parade or a little show or a little thing going on. I don't know. We were standing there. I was holding my mom's hand. And then like my mom starts walking down the street. So I'm walking down the street with my mom, right? And I hear my family, bye, saying goodbye to me, right? So I like kind of look back and I see my sisters and my dad and my mom. And I'm like, okay. And then I like look up. That's not my mom. And then I look up again. Because it was Charlie Chaplin. He took my hand. My mom gave him my hand and he started walking away with me. And then, of course, stupid 2-year-old that I am, ran back to my family. But meanwhile, there's also people standing there watching this happen. So those people have stories. I watched this one time where this child got traumatized by Charlie Chaplin. If anyone in your family's ever told that story, that was me. That was me. I was the child. I'm just saying. There's people out there telling this story. That's not just me. But it's me. I was the traumatized child. You know, and they just thought it was fucking hilarious because, like, whatever. And yeah, so that's the whole inside thing on Charlie Chaplin tried to kidnap me. Not the real Charlie Chaplin, and he wasn't really trying to kidnap me. He just thought it was funny to torment me. A child. I was 2. I can't really blame him. I don't like kids either, and sometimes when kids cry, it's kind of funny. You know, also a little sadistic. My sister used to do that to my nephew, too. Not try to torment him, torment him. Because, like, he was an idiot when he was a baby. Like, kids are stupid. Babies are idiots. So, you know, especially like an infant, 2 years old, they're sitting there like, oh, try this. They'll eat the food. I don't like that. You try some other food. So my sister would like put a lemon or whatever up to his mouth and he'd take a little bite and just make this horrible face because it was disgusting and sour, right? So then 2 seconds, she's still holding the lemon. She never put it down. She'd hold it up to him and he'd try to eat it again. She could do this like 20 times in a row. Kid was a moron. Kept trying to eat that damn lemon and just kept being like, oh, it's horrible. It never occurred to him at 2 years old that his mom kept feeding him the same damn lemon. It's not like she put it down, gave him a different food, and then tried the lemon again. No. The lemon was always in her hand. She'd put it in his mouth, and he'd make a face, laugh about it. Put it in his mouth, make a face, laugh about it. Like, kid was an idiot. But it's shit like that. That just runs in my family. We're all a little sadistic. I don't know how anybody had kids. Why I never had kids, because I would also probably have tormented them just the way my parents tormented me, and I would think it's funny, and that's just wrong. Okay? Like, also, having kids would torment me just by having them, so. But anyway. There you go. That's the story. That was Toka's story about, like, my past being... Oh, God. Oh. I know I've told that story before, but sometimes people come in who are new and you've never heard that one before. So there you go. Anyway, a tale from Toka's past. I wonder if it involves being kidnapped. Saying that, Toka pulled a chair over from my desk and sat down facing me. Though he looked me in the eyes, it seemed like he was gazing somewhere beyond. His expression was distant. And this is the story of when you stole my heart. Oh, okay. Well, definitely not the story I was expecting, but okay. This happened 13 years ago, around the time you were 4 years old. All right, and now you're creepy and gross. Stop it. Don't do that. You stole my heart when you were 4. Ew! Again, what kind of Twilight bullshit is this? Back then, as a Tengu, I focused on wishing for people's personal growth by presenting them with challenges. My days were spent not so differently from now. However, my heart was in a different place. I made sure your dad died so you'd face the biggest challenge. You douche! I wish people had faith in me like they do the other gods. Mortals didn't know anything about me. Yet when I observed those I had brought troubles to, I'd often hear them complain. Yeah, 'cause people don't like to suffer. It's not fun. Like, maybe at the end of the day, you're like, hey, you know what? If I hadn't suffered, like this, if I hadn't been traumatized as a child by being kidnapped by Charlie Chaplin, I wouldn't have the vivid visual memory of my father laughing so hard he almost choked, and just hearing him laugh and having that still 8 years later permanently burned into my brain where I'm not going to forget that. Because, after people have been gone for a while, you're like, you forget their voice, you forget their face. I will never not be able to hear that man's laughter. Because I've heard it for so many motherfucking years telling that story over and over. You know what I mean? So, and I can see him visibly turning red and choking on his own spit because he's laughing so hard, okay? So, yes. All right, my trauma as a 2-year-old led to a happy memory, I guess. But, I guess what? There'd probably be other things that would have made my dad laugh, so I would have remembered that. I didn't need the trauma in order to do that. So I'm just saying, at the end of the day, we might come out with if I hadn't gone through hell, then yada yada. But most people, but still, we're going through a little bit too much hell, so maybe the Tengu need to simmer it the fuck down. Okay? Too much. There's a limit, and you're pushing it. You're beyond the limit, and you keep pushing the outer limit. Stop it! Please stop. We're all just a pile of sad sacks right now. We don't need any more of it, okay? That's all I'm saying, so. Just saying. This sucks! Why me? Why do I have to go through this? Damn you, God! Literally all of us. Maybe gods aren't even real. How can they let such horrible things happen? We all have not thought that about 300 times in our lives. I just want to die already. God, please have mercy on me. Jesus Christ. Toka, what are you doing to these people? I grew tired of hearing curses toward me. I grew tired of hearing curses toward me, of being demeaned. I give people burdens to heighten their humanity. So why do they curse me? Because you gave that person so many burdens he'd rather be dead. Toka, Jesus Christ. There's a line, sir. Although, to be fair, wait a minute. That person, to be fair, could have been like, I just want to die already so I can stay in hell and be with Seiya. That would be me. So, I guess depending on how you read that, it might not be as traumatic as it sounds. It comes out being like, Jesus Christ, Toka, but at the same time, it's like, actually, I said the same thing when we were in hell with Seiya. Can I just die already so I can stay here? But it wasn't like, oh, God, you know what I mean? It was a good thing. So, guess it really depends on the situation that person's in. I'm assuming, because Toka's whining about it, they weren't happy, and you literally made that person borderline suicidal, Toka. Jesus fucking Christ. Do you not understand that? No. Simmer down, Tengu. Simmer down. God. This is triggering. This whole route. This whole route is no. See, you and your kind are just procreating like rabbits out there, just making the world a shit place. Could you simmer down and stop? Stop it. You're giving the trials and the burdens to the wrong people. Okay? To the wrong people. Some of us are just trying to get by, okay? Go bother the obnoxious the people that are burdening us. Go burden them with I don't know, meteors crashing in their skulls or some shit, oh, whoops, did you die? Oh, too bad. You know what I'm saying? I'm just, listen. You're hitting the wrong people with the burdens is all I'm saying. Ugh, how regrettable.
Why must humans be this way? 'Cause you're a douche. Looking back, I realized how arrogant I was back then, or stupid. I might as well quit being a god. Why not become a spirit that plays tricks on them?
Oh, 'cause that's better. Well, it's gonna be like, that's better. It'd be a little bit better.
That would at least be entertaining. But that wasn't a stance I was allowed to take. Within the Tengu clan, I held a significant rank. And though there were many other Tengu, I had to set an example with my behavior for others to follow. Oh well, others may be upset at my leaving, but perhaps I should just step down. As I wallowed in despair, an encounter with a certain young girl shifted my view. Let's see, next up is a 4-year-old girl known for being a crybaby?
Listen, just let me cry, all right? There's a lot to cry about in this world. I say that all the time to my boss. I had a meeting with her today because I haven't talked to her in a while, like for over Christmas. She canceled meetings and everything because people were away, whatever. So we got our one-on-one set back up. She's like, I haven't talked to you in a while, whatever. And like everything, I'm like, everything's going fine, like whatever. And I'm like, I haven't cried yet this year. And she's like, well, that's good. Maybe don't. And I'm like, no. I mean, I'll probably start crying soon. That's how I deal with stress. Like, I am a crybaby. I cry at everything. I'm happy, I cry. When people are nice to me, I cry. You know, like when I'm sad, I cry. When I'm frustrated, I cry. When it's Tuesday, I cry. Which is just funny when we play these games and there are those touching moments or the sad moments. I'm like, I'm almost gonna cry. I've broken down at least twice. We had the ugly crying at 7 Scarlet. I'll never forgive that game for making me ugly cry. I know there's been at least two. I think there's been 2 other times. So I think there's been a total of 3 times that I have been like, actually, like literal tears. And some of them have been happy tears. I can't remember them. You guys will know better. Someone will let me know which they were because, like, now my brain is drawing a blank. But, like, for the most part, like, I'll tell you if I'm crying like a dumbass. I'll tell you. But most of the time, I'm like, my eyes are a little watery. Like, I'll get choked up. But, like, I don't straight up bawl. Even when it's like, this should make me cry. No. But some days I'll be like, it's Tuesday! And I'll just cry for no fucking reason. I can hold it together pretty well like this, but otherwise, no. Like, when my dad died, I didn't cry as much as I should have, but I will randomly, see if we talk about it more, I'm going to start crying now. I will randomly just start crying for no fucking reason. Because I did not process my grief properly. Like, plus, you know, when it's a family member or someone like that, you're never gonna stop crying, you know what I mean? Like, you're never gonna, like, have those moments where you don't break down, which is, that's okay. But, like, I don't know why I can read sad things or, like, games like this, or when, oh my god, it's so beautiful, I'm gonna cry, and, like, I can hold it together, but then I could just be sitting at work and be like, I'm so frustrated, and I'll just be sobbing like an asshole. Probably because the times I should be crying, like, oh god, guys, this was a sad ending, or it was so beautiful, and I don't. I'm like, I hold it together, and then it's just like, all right, fine, bitch. Bet, hold on, wait for it. One day you're gonna be in the middle of work, you're gonna be and you're just gonna cry like it's the end of the world. Because I've just been holding it all in. I probably need therapy. Anyway, I was taken aback as I reviewed her information. Misfortune was classified into 4 ranks: minor, medium, major, and max. I feel like we're on major and we're crashing over into a tidal wave into max misfortune. Is this where I feel like we're going right now? Not in this game, I mean in reality. Yet, despite only being 4 years old, she was about to be given a major issue. Oh, you're gonna kill my dad. Why inflict such a burden on a small child? And perhaps first I should observe her. Well, the thing is, see, that's an interesting thought of, like, Toka's like, why do this to a child? It's not just you're doing it to the child, you're doing it to her older sister. I don't know how old her sister is. She could be like 6 to 8. You know what I mean? At the time. Is she like 2 years older than us? 4 years older than us? You know? 5? Who knows? But, like... And then our mother, you're also inflicting the misfortune on her. And everyone who knew our father. So you're inflicting the misfortune on a lot of people when you kill someone. And not like they died of old age where like that's a misfortune, but you can be like, well, they lived a long, happy life. Our father did not get to live a long life, so that's misfortune, you know? Anyway,
I observed my target for several days, pondering what kind of ill fate would suit her. But what I saw left me shocked. Without any intervention from me, she was attracting burdens all on her own. I see. By giving her a major burden, she'd find the strength in herself to overcome the other self-inflicted burdens she'd faced in life. Oh, now you're blaming me for all these other burdens?
Okay, sure, whatever.
Scapegoating me. I sympathized with this child's unique situation, and I found observing her quite fascinating. Normally, after a few days of observation, I bestowed a single disaster tailored to the individual and watched their reaction. But instead, I decided to ruin her whole life.
He didn't say that, but
for her, I piled on burden after burden.
Okay, so basically what I said.
And yet, no matter what challenge I gave her, she overcame it with positivity. Watching her was such a joy.
So what attracted you to me was my Delulu state. I should be attracting Tengu left and right because, like, I'm just saying. A lot of us should be. Because a lot of us are going through a lot of bullshit right about now. And it's going to get worse. And we're like, I have my mental man harem and my Atome games and my fake boyfriends. And, like, I'm just going to pretend everything's okay. And we're delusional enough to try to pretend everything will be okay. With our fake smiles and our dead eyes. Okay? So Tengu should be flocking to us left and right like, damn! Look, she's smiling through the hell. Yeah, it's the only way. Like, that doesn't mean you can keep piling the shit on Toka. Back the fuck off. Like, I don't hate Toka, but I also hate Toka. Does that make sense? Like, honestly, here's the thing. Again, this is what I find baffling. I should hate Toka just for the fact of, like, this is triggering. You are throwing burden upon burden, and, like, we are living in a world of bullshit right now. Okay? And then just think of all your personal bullshit, and then all the universal bullshit. And then, like, so Toka's route should really be like, I hate you, and all the Tengu like you because stop ruining my life. Every time you feel burdened with anything, you're like, damn it, Toka! You want to kind of blame him for that, you know what I mean? Like, you know? It's like when there are love interests who are really jealous and clingy or weird, and if you've ever experienced that, you're like, nope, triggering, don't like it, can't deal with it, reminds me too much of shit you've been through, right? This is very much like that. It's like, nope. So I should really hate Toka the way I hated Minami. But I was like, no, I don't know why I hate you, but I just do. It would make more sense if I hated Toka to be like, well, this is why. It makes sense why I should hate you. And yet I'm like, I mean, technically I kind of hate him. But I also don't hate him, you know what I mean? I hate him in theory. But in the scheme of the game, I'm like, nah, he's fine. And if he gets a little grow-up, glow-up, might be into that, might be okay. Right now, it's like, well, he's not for me, but I don't hate him. Minami physically not for me, but I still hate him somehow. Despite the fact that his personality and the route itself, if you put it, like I said, a different character, different sprite there, I wouldn't have hated him so much. I don't know what it is. So it's like, this game subverts all your expectations, is all I'm saying. I mean, I don't know. Anyway. That little girl is... Even though his story wasn't finished, I couldn't sit still any longer and interrupted Toka. Well, you should realize it was you because he said, this is how I fell in love with you. And then he starts to tell a story about a 4-year-old girl. You should know that was you.
Yes, it's you, Spacey.
I figured it had to be. Ever since I met Toka, no, even before that, I somehow knew I was a magnet for bad luck. That's how I feel. When he talked about a girl who attracted burdens of her own, I knew it had to be me. Plus, he hinted at the start that this was my story. Duh, he didn't hint. He straight up spelled it out. Sorry for interrupting. Please continue. I leaned in, eager to hear more. Despite trying to recall my early years, I couldn't remember ever meeting Toka. I wonder if we ever crossed paths. Toka seemed entertained by my curiosity, letting out a chuckle before going on. Maybe you did, and you just don't remember because he was in his adult form.
Perhaps I should tell you about some of the burdens. One day I caused you to trip several times.
When you say you tripped me, you mean literally, right?
Yes, exactly. I tripped you from the front and from behind as well, and then I pushed you in front of a car.
But that was later. Gosh, I've had so many of those days. Hard to know which one he's referring to. All of them, I'd guess.
After seeing you like that, your sister took you off to the shrine.
I mean, me tripping a lot just makes it seem like you're klutzy.
There, that should do it. I prayed to the gods for you now, so you should be fine.
I'll be okay. What did you tell the gods, though?
I told them, hey, stop bullying Spacey. Yeah, stop bullying us!
I mean, you tripped so many times today. Like 5 times total. It's not just that either. Bad stuff always seems to find you. I figured it must be the gods' fault. See, I'm gonna start blaming the gods. This is what we should do.
Thanks for defending me. So what was all the gods doing, huh? Hearing this, my heart began to sink. Though it was indeed my doing, it was all for your personal growth.
I don't know how tripping me is for my own personal growth. Like, I mean, some people are just clumsy and you gotta get around that, but like this, I'm not gonna personally grow because I tripped. You know what I mean? If you're like, I'm gonna make you trip so that you break your leg, and then you go to the hospital and you meet the super sexiest doctor that ever sexied, and then you fall in love. I mean, okay, that'll give you that. At least there's a purpose. Aside from now I got a fucking broken ass leg and I'm old, so like I'm gonna probably get pins and shit and gonna have to, like, you know what I mean? That would suck, but like, hey, I met the super sexiest doctor that ever sexied and like madly in love 2 minutes after meeting. Sure, if we're doing that kind of shit, but like you're just tripping me and making me frustrated at my own big clown feet. Like that's not helping. You're just being a dick. How is it helping? You know what I'm saying?
Tengu gods are bound to be hated by people, regardless of our intentions. I muttered these words as I watched you too. But I'm okay. I mean, I don't cry anymore. Honestly, the gods' tricks don't even bother me anymore.
Oh, you might be right. It's true you've become a lot stronger.
Right? Hey, then maybe we should be saying thanks to the gods.
Why would we do that?
Because I got stronger. That was a first. Someone recognized my intention. Not only that, they thanked me for it.
Again, I'm not thanking somebody for me being clumsy. Like, that is not, I mean, okay, I feel like I know what they're trying to say. Some of the other things and, like, whatever. It's not the tripping that led her to think that. It's just the, hey, I used to be, like, you know, a crybaby and I used to cry a lot about everything, but I've dealt with so much shit that I've just learned to, like, you know, well, the thing is, crying is okay, but, like, not if someone's like, your hair's ugly, and then you just, like, lose your shit. Like, you should just be like, so's your face, you know? Like, you know what I mean? Like, but I get it. So, I get that it's not the tripping that she's like, thanks for tripping me, I've become stronger. The tripping is just you being a dick, Toka. But, like, all the other little burdens he's put on her to help her be able to handle them, and you know what I mean? Okay. So that's why she's thanking him. I'm gonna go with that, but, like, the tripping was just a bad example, because that's just Toka being a dick again, you know?
I mused that perhaps there were humans who understood us after all. My heart swelled with emotion. Maybe I can continue being a Tengu for a little longer. That moment changed everything for me. And then I stuck by your side and fell in love with you because I'm a weirdo. After that, whenever my work got me down, I'd visit you to recharge. You became my source of emotional strength.
Okay, so he'd go off, annoy other people, then come back, annoy me some more. Okay. So I wasn't the sole beneficiary of his annoyingness. Cool. Good. At least spread it around. But maybe don't. Also stop. For the sake of everyone. Again, there are a long list of people that are just douche canoes that you should be burdening. they're not burdening them, though. So, like, what kind of deal with Satan did they make? And, like, how do we get Satan on our side to, like, fuck over those people so the rest of us can just, like, exist peacefully, is all I'm saying, you know? Anyway.
Over time, those feelings evolved. You became incredibly dear to me.
Toka turned his gaze toward me. See, like, right now, look at him looking at us all soft, but he's got, like, old man baby face. It's so weird. Those warm eyes seemed to look at me with deep affection. A spark flicked behind them and made my heart skip a beat.
That's why, Spacey, I love you so deeply. You mean everything to me.
I mean, listen. You've been burdening me with bullshit. But, like, who else has said those words to us? Damn. It's confusing. Feeling the weight of his emotions, I realized I couldn't respond half-heartedly. His hand was smaller than mine, but when his fingers brushed my cheek, my heart raced. He was younger than me, or at least appeared that way, but my feelings remained unchanged. See, she's confused. She's like, he's got baby face, and I'm not into that, but yet at the same time, could he have a glow up? Mm-hmm. I look away, touch his hand. I feel like she's probably going to touch his hand. You know what I mean? Because that's more romantic, and you want affection points, right? Yeah. I gently placed my hand over his on my cheek, and I saw Toka's eyes flicker with emotion. I'm struggling to find the right words. I wanted to be honest with him, but upon hearing that, Toka chuckled.
No, just having you listen is more than enough. Thank you. I was expecting to be rejected. I'm actually quite relieved.
That's not... Maybe it was my lack of confidence, but I could tell my heart was wavering. But I still don't know. My feelings were only just starting to crystallize, so I couldn't offer him anything definitive.
Just being able to share my feelings with you is a gift. I must thank that priest for this opportunity.
Saying that, Toka stood up from his chair, creating a bit of distance between us.
Seeing as you're human, I pray you'll find someone to love in this world and can share your life with them. Even if you fall in love with someone else, my feelings for you will remain unchanged.
That's a little weird when we've fallen in love with every other dead guy in this. Okay, Koyo doesn't count because he wasn't really dead, but Toka...
I've known this from the beginning, and I never expected a relationship to work between us. In this brief time we've shared, I'll always cherish these memories in my heart. How fortunate I was to meet you.
If that's truly how he feels, then why does his smile look so sad? Just because you love someone and you're willing to let them go doesn't mean it's not painful. And, like, he knows he has to let you go. He has no other choice. Bullshit, because we'll figure it out by the time we get to the end. But, right now in this moment, he's thinking, I have no choice, but I have to let you go. And, and I just want you to be happy. And just because you want that for someone doesn't mean it doesn't hurt you. You know what I mean? Unable to muster the courage to ask, I silently watched him exit my room. Clutching my mug, I gazed out the window. He's thankful for the priest, huh? I feel the same. Since discovering Toka's existence and having the chance to meet him, I felt deeply grateful. I wonder how much longer I'll be able to see him. If only I could always see him, but if a time comes when I can't... Sorrow gripped my heart, sparking a wave of panic within me. I don't want to say goodbye to him. I'm not sure. Like, I don't want to say goodbye to him. Normally, with everyone else, it'd be like, me either. But this one, I'm like, we'll see. Listen, personality-wise and everything, okay, I'm fine with it. It's the baby face. It's still like, I'm going to need you to get that, like, glow up a little. You know what I mean? And then we'll talk. And then I'd be like, yeah, I don't want to either, you know?
After leaving Spacey's room so as not to disturb her rest, perhaps sharing so much with her was a mistake. Once I began, my emotions simply took over, leading me to reveal everything to her. I had kept all that inside for so long. Yet Spacey seemed troubled by it. Her expression brought me back to reality. Regaining my composure, I suppressed my feelings as though snapping out of a dream. If she's content, that's all that matters. Now, time to find Koharu. I got lots of prep work to do for Spacey. This could be the moment she finds her true career path. I gotta do my best.
After waking up from my nap, I felt surprisingly restless. Oh man, I wanted to wake up in the early afternoon. I'd wanted to go out with Yukimaro as he suggested, but my sleep got in the way of my plans. Or your lack of sleep because of some dumb ass. Listen, Toko, it was mean, okay? Still a dumbass. He gave us all that, and we're a dumbass for reading it all. With my shoulders slumped, I made my way down to the living room, only to find Koharu and Toka in the kitchen. It's also going to throw off your sleep for the rest of the night. What are you two up to?
Oh, you're up already.
Well, it should be fine. This should be good enough. Good enough? Curious, I tried to peek into the kitchen, but Toka quickly came over to block my view. Really hard since it's an open kitchen.
Please take a seat on the sofa. Just sit down for a moment.
I mean, there's like the counter there, so we can't see. It's probably like a high bar top, you know. All right, I'll wait. We can't see the counters and what they're doing, but... I took a seat on the sofa as told. Before I knew it, Toka rushed over to me.
Sorry to keep you waiting.
Just then, he placed a delicious-looking parfait in front of me. It looked just like the ones I ordered from my favorite cafe.
Huh? How? Did you make this?
Toka was adamant we make it for you. Parfaits are your favorite food, right? Yes, I've loved them ever since I was a little kid. I still go to my favorite cafe to eat them. Yeah, we visited that cafe too. After sampling the parfaits there, we tried to figure out how they make them and tried our hands at it. So that's why this looks so similar to that cafe's parfait. I can't believe they visited the cafe to recreate this for me.
And since Koharu's such a good cook, he was a big help.
But why all of a sudden?
I remembered how much you loved that cafe's parfait since you were little, so...
Toka sat next to me and offered me a spoon.
Anyway, please give it a try.
Where's Yukimaru to be like, you are glowing? I nodded and accepted the spoon, gently scooping up some of the cream from the top. Toka, Koharu, thank you both so much. Also, there's food. So how the hell did Yukimaru not come busting through the fucking door like, food? I took a bite of the whipped cream and let the delicious sweet flavor envelop me. Delicious. It was a little different from the cafes, but it was still incredibly delicious. Not to mention, I could tell how much effort they had put into making it.
What do you think, Yukimaru?
Huh? Yukimaru, who had been covertly watching from the kitchen, peeked out. First of all, again, the kitchen's open, we could see, but okay. It was they wanted to see my aura, so he was secretly spying on me. You could have just been standing there and watching me, and I wouldn't know that you were going to be, like, peeping my aura, you know what I mean?
Well, a master seems very happy right now.
You were watching too, Yukimaru?
Yes, I was here keeping an eye on you and enjoying some of this leftover whipped cream. Spacey, have you ever considered a career that involves sweets?
A career involving sweets?
You shouldn't ignore the joy you get from them. Clearly your interest is piqued.
Well, it's true I love sweets, and that does sound quite interesting, but I mean, I love pizza, but I never thought about becoming a pizza chef. You know what I mean? If you're thinking about a career involving sweets, what about becoming a pastry chef or something? I just think it's so funny that, like, I mean, whatever they had to do, but, like, the way they come about her, like, you know, she likes sweets, so pastry chef. And they're like, yeah! But she's only baked, like, once in her life. Like, it's just, it's still the most bonkers and the most ridiculous part of the story. Everything else, getting sent to hell, meeting ghosts, totally more believable than the, wow, I like sweets, so pastry chef seems like a good idea. And I'm, like, awesome at it, despite the fact that I've literally baked once in my life. I'm gonna bet that you have baked more in your life than she has. So you are more geared up and ready to become a pastry chef than she is. So it's just very fucking bizarre that that's where they went with it. But you could tell, though, I mean, to be fair, to the writers and everything. They were like, yeah, pastry chef, sure, sounds good. Like, they didn't really give a fuck about what she was going to do with her life. It was just, she doesn't want to go down the path that her mother is forcing her down. So that is the crux of why Toka is going to just boot her into other realms and shit so that she can overcome it, learn to stand up, and tell her mom she doesn't want to go into the medical field. Right? And then they were like, well, what's she going to do then? She like sweets a like pastry chef or some shit. And then you just kind of like just threw this together. Like, this was not really thought out well compared to the rest of the game. The rest of the game and the plot and everything, they were like, we have the idea. And they got everything, and then they're like, shouldn't we ever have her decide what she wants to do? And then they're like, fuck. Yeah, what should it be? Well, how about she likes sweets, so she becomes a pastry chef? Has she ever baked before? Nah, it doesn't matter. Nobody will care. You know what I mean? Like, it just feels like an afterthought. Like, they were worried about the routes and the character development and, like, building the relationships, and then this was all of a sudden like, oh, fuck, we forgot to think about what she was actually going to do and be good at. Fuck. Because, like, to be fair, it kind of comes out of nowhere in a way. Like, you know? Like, you know? So, it's a little ridiculous and absurd, but it is, like, the least important part of the whole game. But I would be remiss if I didn't point out how ridiculous it kind of comes out, but... Pastry chef? Me? Sweets have always been such a big part of my life. I guess I never really thought about a career with them, though. Especially because, again, I love pizza. All the time. I could eat pizza left, right, and center. Always. Are you in the mood for pizza? Always. You know? Like, almost any kind of pizza. Pizza pockets, pizza rolls, pizza from fancy restaurants, pizza from the garbage place next door. Like, pizza's good. Okay? But I'm not gonna open a pizzeria. You know what I'm saying? Like, just, so the whole, like, I like candy, I should become Willy Wonka. Like, it's just so fucking bonkers.
I felt the same way, but something about what Koharu said this afternoon hit a chord with me.
You mean about focusing on what she likes? And don't you think Toka would know that? He's always interested in things like that. Instead of trying to find something to interest her, why not start with something that already interests her and work from there? Instead of trying to find something to interest her, why not start with something that already interests her? Okay, I read that weird. Oh, that? Hearing that, Toka immediately thought of a parfait? I mean, good for him for putting that together, but...
I've always been by your side watching over you. It should have been obvious to me, and yet I couldn't see it.
Because again, it's so fucking random.
In both happy and tough times, whenever something happened, you'd head to that cafe and find comfort there, right?
That's true. I mean, in happy and tough times, I find comfort with my bird. And I love him, but I'm not gonna, like, open up a bird sanctuary. Because, like, I ain't got the time, the money, or anything like that. I know. Besides, you'd be too jealous if there were tons of birdies.
We watched that lady on the Instagram who's got tons of birdies. And she takes out these birdies that get along and spends a little time. And then she'll take out and then you wouldn't get out of cage time all day long. You'd be like, okay, it's Mr. Neelix's time and he comes out for an hour. And then you'd get put in your cage and you'd be like, what the fuck? These other feather bastards coming and taking my mommy time with me. I know. You'd be jealous. You'd be so jealous. You want me to pet you or what? You're biting. You're being a jerk. He's like, pet me, bites, pet me, bites. I know, you got pin feathers.
People are used to hearing that like you never not have pin feathers, but you always have pin feathers. But this time you got a lot of them, huh? You're being extra grouchy. You're grumpy. You're a grumpy bitch. You're a grumpy brat. I love you, though. I know. We can never have another bird that needed my attention half as much as you. You'd lose your fucking shit, so. We can never do that. Plus, you are a full-time job. Anyway, that's true. Sometimes I go with family or friends, and other times alone, just to clear my head. Don't get me wrong, I love doing this, and if I can make a full-time job out of just playing games I would fucking do it too, but this ain't paying my bills. This doesn't pay for one fucking Otome game a month, so I'm just saying, you know? Even on that day, the day before I met Toka, Yukimaru, and Koharu, I went there, hoping to escape from the worries about my future. It became so routine it was nothing more than a habit. I'd forgotten how much I truly loved it.
Ow! That was not nice! You're very mean. I don't like you right now. I love you, but I don't like your attitude. That's what I mean. Yeah, it also reminded me of that one time. Remember? You baked cookies for Sayaka a while back.
That one time.
Yeah, I remember that. That was my first attempt at baking anything. Again, like,
It's so ridiculous that this is how they got there with. Okay, but sure.
that's right. No matter how many times you had to redo it, you persisted until they were perfect. You were so dedicated that day. You even mentioned wanting to try baking again to your mother, remember?
I did, didn't I? But back then, my mom was so serious about me working hard in school, I never tried again. Maybe I'll try baking them again. Baking sweets. I have always been interested in giving that a try. Tomorrow at school, I'll look into courses relating to being a pastry chef. It's odd. Before, I didn't even have a target in mind. I was just aimlessly browsing potential careers. Now I can't wait to start looking. It's amazing how my perspective has shifted. I shared a grateful smile with them. Thank you all so much. I'm so excited for what's ahead. Thank you all for helping me realize this. If you're thanking someone, thank Toka. And this was all his idea.
Right. Toka planned all this. We just pitched in a little here and there. I couldn't have done it alone. Yukimaru, stop that! Don't eat the parfait! We made it for her!
I was like, where did he go? Yeah, that makes sense.
What? And now that Master has found her path, there's no need for it anymore, right? I've been eyeing it the whole time.
Jeez, fine. I'll make some more with the leftover ingredients, so leave that one alone. He's literally like a dog or my bird jumping on my plate like trying to steal your food when you're not looking.
I know what you do.
I know. He's playing with the tassels on my hoodie. Like the neck cords. You know what I mean? The hoodie, the strings. He's like chewing on them and throwing them around.
He is right. He and you.
Koharu prepared portions for everyone, and we savored the parfaits together. And then my mom and sister walked in and saw a bunch of parfaits and spoons floating in the air and thought I was crazy. There was nothing better than sharing some sweets with the people you care about. I was filled with joy as I looked around at their smiles and remembered how I felt as a child. My heart was full. That night, I chose to talk things over with my mom right away. She listened intently and seemed to take my thoughts very seriously. I could feel my excitement building. Though I still hadn't made a formal decision, I felt I was moving in the right direction. The next day, I was so excited I arrived at school even earlier than usual. Nerd. Just kidding. Oh, I never realized the requirements for becoming a pastry chef would be like this. I looked through a number of pamphlets and began to envision my future. You have to have a knack for baking, which you've done once. Have you found a good school? Oh, no, it's Toka. I figured it was going to be Sayaka.
Have you found a good school?
Okay, sorry. Toka!
Shh, quiet. We're in the library. Besides, you know it'll look like you're talking to yourself, right?
I look at his disappointed face. I kind of love his disappointed face. So funny. It's your fault for popping in out of nowhere. I guess I can whisper, though. There aren't any other students nearby. Though the librarian was at her desk, she seemed preoccupied, so I doubted I'd be reprimanded for whispering.
No, please don't mind me. Please just continue reading.
How can I do that when you're standing right here? Hovering. Face in over your shoulder, buried in your hair. Just sniffing you. Don't mind me, I'm just sniffing you.
I'm sniffing you, Bird. You smell like peanut butters. I can smell the peanut butter on your breath. That's because we had some oatmeals with peanut butter in it.
For lunch. We ate it very early today because we were starving.
But you had some and you smell like peanut butter.
I continued looking through the papers. Oh, this school offers a work-study program. I didn't even know that was an option. He's sitting so close to my chin that when I talk, his little face is rubbing. It tickles. Now that I think about it, the cafe owner once mentioned a part-time job opportunity to me. It is, but also he's... I don't know if you can hear him, but as I'm talking, he's like... He's just meeping along with me, and it's just so funny. It'd be so fun to work there. Huh? What's up?
I'm sorry, I just couldn't help myself. Seeing you so engaged makes me happy. I'm really happy with the direction you're going. Seeing you happy makes me happy too.
Since he was the one who'd been so concerned about my future and put so much effort into helping me, it made sense he'd be happy. I think Toka's the only person outside of my family that cares this much about me. That's not true. We got a lot of ghost boyfriends that care about us. Some of them haven't met us yet, but it's okay. Then, just as I was about to thank him...
Good morning! Surprised to see you here so early. What are you working on?
Morning, Sayaka. I've been thinking about my career path and I came here to do some research. I glanced over to where Toka was, but it seemed he had vanished to give me some privacy. I wish he would have stuck around. Even just a little longer. Look at her missing him already.
You're thinking of becoming a pastry chef? You have always had a sweet tooth.
Again, just because you have a sweet tooth does not make you a good pastry chef. I mean...
Hey, remember those cookies you made me? They were so delicious. Yeah, I think that would really suit you. Again, okay, sure.
It makes like 2% sense, but
they went with it.
You know, there's a lot of things in games sometimes you're like, this doesn't make any sense. This literally, it makes it makes a teeny bit of sense, but it's like this is like the area where they put no effort in. Like, it's like, yeah, okay. Can we move on from it? Because like we already know she's gonna be a pastry chef, and it makes no sense. And it's like the part of the game where she keeps talking about it, where you're like, it makes no sense, and it's like, I can suspend my disbelief about being isekai'd into fucking hell and like, you know, or ghost realms or whatever, but not on the I bake cookies once, therefore I'm going to be a pastry chef. You know what I mean? Like, so bizarre. I don't know why it's always bugged me a little bit, but it's just like now it's compounded and I'm like, all right. Yeah. It makes no damn sense. Plus it's also the same as every other, we can't skip this now. It's also the same as now the last 3 routes where she's doing the same research. So it's like, we've already done this enough. Like, we can gloss over this and spend more time with Toka. You know what I mean? I messed up so many times making those cookies. I'll need to get to a point where I don't mess up so much when baking them. Well, I mean, duh. Hey, would you mind testing out some cookies for me next time I make them?
Yeah, obviously. I can't wait. When will that be? Today?
Tomorrow?
The day after?
Calm down. Look how excited she is. I'll have to do my best not to let her down. Oh, I should bake some for the others, too. I wanted to thank them somehow. It wasn't much, but it'd be nice to bake something for the 3 of them. The sooner the better. It'd be nice to surprise them. Hey, Sayaka, are you free today?
Yeah, but what's up?
I want to borrow your kitchen. I want to try baking something. And that's cute, because, like, we did at least bake last time. We were trying to bake with Koharu. We asked him for help or whatever. But, like, this time we're going to bake with Sayaka and surprise them. That's kind of cute. That's slightly different. After school, I used Sayaka's kitchen. She observed as I tried baking cookies for the first time in ages. Again, thanks to all my previous failures, this first batch of cookies came out great. Even I thought they turned out good. Sayaka loved them as well, and so I happily packaged them in cute wrapping and... Koharu, this is for you. And this one's for you, Yukimaru. I nervously handed over the wrapped cookies to each of them. What are these? Are you trying to buy me off so I don't haunt you? No, I want you to keep haunting me. I love you. It's nothing like that. You've just been such a big help to me. I wanted to give you something to thank you. Besides, when I give Yukimaru cookies, it makes him stay longer. Because I feed him so he stays. He understands this is where the food comes from. That's what I was doing. I wasn't giving you cookies to buy you off so you'd leave. I was giving you cookies so you would stay. So you don't understand how this works, sir.
Uh-huh. These taste like happiness. These are so delicious. And Master, you've really outdone yourself.
I'm glad to hear you think so. I'd only given them to him a few seconds ago, and they're already gone. God damn it, he really is like a dog.
If you don't want yours, Koharu, I'll take them.
I never said I didn't want them.
Oh, so you want to share? Mine are already gone.
Seriously? How much of a pig are you? You're not getting a single cookie from me. Aw, I think it's cute he doesn't want to share his cookies. I'll share my cookies with you.
Aw, come on. Don't be so stingy.
Have either of you seen Toka? I'd searched the whole house, but couldn't find him. Nope, haven't seen him.
He's probably visiting other mortals in his role as a god.
I'm sure Toka will be thrilled. He'll probably jump for joy. I'm happy to. Thank you, Master.
I'm surprised Yukimaro was like, I'll hold them for Toka. No, you won't.
I'll hold them for him right in my stomach.
And these cookies are very much appreciated. Thank you.
Seriously, after all you guys have done for me, there's no need to thank me. I just hope you'll enjoy them.
This is the happiest I've been since becoming a guardian spirit. Though I suppose it's a little bittersweet. I feel my time as your guardian spirit's likely coming to an end.
So a farewell is coming. I wanted to ask you about that. When the time comes, does that mean I won't be able to see any of you anymore?
Honestly, even if my role ends, as long as the priest's exorcism spell remains active, you should be able to see me.
Oh, really? I just assumed I wouldn't see you guys anymore.
Remember back when you first saw me? You were able to see me before I officially became your guardian spirit, right?
He's right. I could see Yukimaro from the moment the priest finished the exorcism.
My appearance isn't tied to that. You can see me because you screwed up the spirit board ritual.
Oh, I see. I guess that means I'll be able to keep seeing Toka as long as the priest's spell is active.
However, I've noticed the priest's exorcism spell is slowly weakening. I think it's only a matter of time.
Oh, so soon?
Well, as for me, I could cast a spell on you so you can see me until my duty as your guardian spirit's over.
But I don't think that'll apply to Toka.
Because there's no condition binding us like I have with the two of you? Koharu nodded and my spirit began to sink. I tried to prepare myself for this, but if a day really came where I couldn't see Toka, I wasn't sure what I'd do.
So, Koharu, what will you do? Are you going to haunt Master?
I haven't thought of anything. I could cast a spell, and that would be quick and easy. How would you feel about seeing ghosts?
That would be awesome! Because then I get to see all my ghost boyfriends. That would make it so much easier than not being able to see my ghost boyfriends.
Don't cast any weird spells on her. Don't cause any trouble for Master.
I'm just joking. Being able to see ghosts, spirits, and gods. Let's just say it would be a lot harder than your current situation.
But then we'd be able to see Sena hiding in the, in the bushes, and that's it. Listening to their back and forth, my thoughts drifted back to Toka. After I finished my dinner and homework, 11 p.m., huh? I guess I'll wait up a little longer. I knew I needed to wake up early tomorrow, so I should head to bed, but I wanted to see Toka. As I heard Koharu and Yukimaro talk before, I realized the issue wasn't just about seeing Toka. I come to realize how genuinely Toka cared for me and why he'd come to see me. Since I met him at the same time as Yukimaro and Koharu, I'd always grouped them together, but now Toka felt different to me. I wonder why I had forgotten. I thought back to the words he said before. Didn't the priest exorcise you? Why are you able to show up like this now?
Yeah, about that. It seems I can no longer use my power on you. But despite being powerless, I'm still a god. So if me being by your side can protect you from the spirits, I'll gladly do so.
Toka cared about me. Being spirited away sounds terrifying, but he was doing it for my future. And it was terrifying, but also we met some hot ghosts, and we just made the man harem a lot bigger, so I'm cool with it. And yet, all I'm giving him are cookies? I still plan on offering it to him, but I knew there had to be something else I could give him. Your love, that's all he wants. As I sat alone, lost in thought, I heard a knock at the door. Come in. Seemingly waiting for my reply, Toka quickly entered.
Good evening. I just wanted to stop in and say goodnight.
I'm so glad you're here. I was actually waiting for you. Toka looked slightly puzzled as I picked up the cookies from my desk. I tried my hand at baking these cookies today. I was hoping you could try them. Why do I feel so shy? It felt so different giving them to Toka compared to when I gave them to Koharu and Yukimaro.
Are you sure?
Am I sure? Yeah, I really wanted you to have them, but will you accept them? Hoping to eventually find a more personal way to thank him, I didn't say they were a token of my appreciation. Toka's hands trembled as he took them, his eyes brimming with tears. They really are brimming with tears.
I never imagined receiving a gift from you.
Oh, come on, it's not really that big of a deal.
And this is the first gift I've ever received. It's too precious. I can't just eat it. That would be wasting it.
But I really want you to eat it. Please? He examined the wrapping and then tenderly pressed the gift to his cheeks, making me blush even more. Sir, I love cookies too, but Jesus, put 'em down. Aw, it's touching to see him so moved, but it also makes me quite shy. Tomorrow I might not even be able to see him anymore. If that's the case, you've always been there for me, Toka, and I hadn't realized, so I'm just really glad I had the chance to meet you. Now I know I've had someone amazing watching over me this whole time.
Amazing? Me?
I nodded, and Toka's cheeks slowly turned a bright shade of pink.
If you say it like that,
Toka began, but then stopped and shook his head. I'm gonna fall even harder in love with you. That's what he was thinking.
And just hearing that from the person I admire fills me with so much joy. Thank you. Thank you so very much.
His smile brightened, and seeing that, I felt a smile grow on my face as well. Yet the thought of saying goodbye to him resurfaced, making me feel sad again. If only we had met sooner and I had the chance to learn more about you. Then, I'm sorry, that's just wishful thinking, I know. Even this time, it was just a coincidence. Toka suddenly looked away and murmured to himself,
It's right. There's no way you'd remember.
He said that before. So, why do you like me so much? I mean, it's not like you really know me. This is the first time we've ever spoken together.
Well, of course you wouldn't remember.
That's right, he muttered the exact same thing last time. Maybe we met him in his adult form. Toka, this isn't the first time we've met, is it? If he's gonna go into... I thought this was gonna be like a quick little bit because, like, I'm, like, out of time. I don't have a lot. So, like, he can't go, like, he can't start a story that's gonna be, like, 10 minutes long. So, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we might have to cut this in the middle. Toka drew in a sharp breath and then gave me a troubled smile. I opened my mouth to press him further. Then the phone on my desk beeped, indicated I'd received a new message. Who could that be at this hour?
And don't mind me. Go ahead and check it.
That can wait. More importantly... Toka reached for my phone and handed it to me. He doesn't want to tell us. Seeing him go that far, I felt compelled to at least read the message. What does that say? Oh, Subasa is Shiki. Okay, it's her sister. I was trying to read the bottom. I didn't realize you could see it at the top. You may be asleep, but I wanted to text you anyway. I finished the display at the shop, so come see it whenever you're free. Okay, so we're going to go to the shop with Toka this time. If you can make it tomorrow, that'd be perfect for me. Hope you can come by then. It was from my sister. She mentioned the display she's been working on is finished, and she wants me to check it out.
Oh, I remember she mentioned that before. I was there listening at the time.
Oh, I didn't realize. It seemed that if I couldn't see him, I couldn't sense his presence either.
I see. So she's finally done, huh? I'm sure it'll be wonderful.
He even talks about my sister as if she were part of his own family. Oh, why don't I invite him? Hey, how about you come with me? We can take the train together after I finish school.
You mean go as a human? Are you sure it's okay for me to go with you?
Of course. Actually, I'd really like you to join me, Toka.
Wow, I'm so happy. What should I do? It's like a date, right?
I blushed at the mention of a date, but his excitement was contagious and caused me to laugh.
And then I'll make sure to come pick you up after school. Is that okay?
Actually, I'd feel better if we met at the station.
Aw, is that because you're embarrassed to be seen with me?
No, that's not it at all. I just don't want to inconvenience you.
I'm relieved to hear that. In that case, I'll pick you up at school.
Well, I guess if Sayaka sees us, she might jump to conclusions and start asking questions. That could be a bit of a hassle, but I don't mind. It'll make Toka happy after all.
After finalizing our plans, Toka and I discussed where my sister's shop was located. I didn't get the chance to ask him about where we'd met before, but I was looking forward to going to the city with him.
Okay. I was like, I hope he doesn't go into that spiel, but I mean, still took a little too long. Chapter 6. Okay, well, anyway, we'll start chapter 6 next time. So I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.